Hey, what's up, guys? Hope everyone's having a great day. Today we're going to go over the PEPE setup. I think there's a really nice win in this one for the boys. Right now we're on the weekly chart, and the way liquidity moves, typically it's going to be hunting for external range stops, or it's going to be looking to rebalance higher time frame imbalances that were left behind. So you can look here and try to spot it with your eye where the imbalance is. I'll give you a moment. Yes, sir, it's right here. So you'll notice here there was a weekly imbalance that ended up getting drawn to over here. And then we had a nice bounce once this wick was filled completely and that weekly imbalance was mitigated. Now, you'll notice at the same time, there's another weekly imbalance just above. So this one hasn't been mitigated yet. If you just stretch it out, it's like that. So this is going to be the next draw. And then while you're on your path up, I believe there's going to be equal highs here that are going to be targeted next, because you have 1, 2, 3, and they're all open. So I think this move to the upside is going to be a pretty strong one. Even from here, you're looking at 55%, right? So with even 10x leverage, you have a crazy move. Now, if you zoom in on the lower time frames, we'll look at the daily. So here's the daily showing explicitly these are the equal highs, right? So that's why I have a magnet here. I believe that this is the draw as of now. Now, if you zoom in, you could see I have this marked in as a daily breaker. That's basically this final green candle that went up to take internal liquidity here before a big push down with displacement that took this liquidity and then started to move up. So you can see on the flip side over here, we blasted through, and on the way down, it used the bottom of the daily breaker as support. And again, if you overlap the weekly imbalance, it sits in the same area as that daily breaker. So this is kind of like a unicorn model to the upside. Now, the other thing to note here, so aside from the draw being up here, we just completed a really clean cipher. So this harmonic wave structure will typically have, a 50% retracement. It could be as low as 382, but this is pretty aligned with what it should be. A 113 to the upside. It could be, it's normally a 1.272, slightly higher than this. But then you complete it at the 786, and that's where it pinned in that daily breaker at the bottom. So right now, this ciphers will usually have a return to the upside of 50%. 618's here, so your 50% is basically going to be filling that weekly imbalance over here. So that's going to be my target one right over there. And actually, if you just mark this in right here and then go to weekly, so basically that 50% corrective retracement is going to fill this imbalance, and then I'd expect a bit of a pullback there. But I don't think the move is done, because the real draw is going to be to the upside here. Now, if you zoom in even tighter on the 4-hour, you could see what the current architecture of this move is. You basically have a first change of character or break of structure over here. The change of character was down here, but this is break of structure. And then you basically filled this 4-hour imbalance right here, pulled back, filled this 4-hour imbalance. Now you made a lower high. For this to be confirmed, a market structure shift, you would have to close below this right here. So if we close a candle below here, we have a market structure shift, and I'll be looking for an entry in this general area right over here, because you can see we have another breaker here on the 4-hour chart, which is that final push up before liquidity was taken, and this was rebalanced, and then a push down that took this liquidity before moving up. So this is a valid breaker on the downside. You could see it kind of got respected at the top here, but there's still going to be a lot of resting bids probably somewhere in here. Also, you have an order block, a 1 hour order block below. So you could see the trend was pretty strong up. You had one final down close candle here, and then a big displacement, energetic displacement to the upside that broke structure. So this right here is going to be a valid and a strong order block that hasn't been touched yet. So I think the best way to set up the trade is going to be maybe your first entry, I don't know, like 40% of the size is going to be in that 4 hour breaker over here. And then you can put maybe another 40% in the 1 hour OB. And then maybe you could add another entry just at the wick low here or somewhere in this space. But you don't want this to break below this wick, obviously. So I put my stop over there. It's pretty liberal, pretty wide, you know, almost 9% and 5.8% risk. That's why I like to keep my size on the lower position over here. That way it reduces your risk and it blends your average down so you have a better entry. So I'm going to be looking to add in this general area. I want this to be a protected low. I believe it should be. It's still at the bottom of the daily breaker, and also it had a really strong wick here, so I think that's going to be protected. So anyway, this is the setup on PEPE, and I believe the draw is going to be minimum up to these equal highs, but you also have a daily imbalance over there. And again, we have a weekly in the same general area, but we have also, this is pretty much an imbalance on the weekly. Maybe you could go on the 5-day, and you can see that's a 5-day from that wick to there. So a lot more upside. I think we get a major pump. If we take candle body to candle body, here to here, and we use a premium discount fib, your 50 is basically in the middle or the top end of this daily imbalance and approaching the midpoint on the 5-day. So I think this is going to be a good area to take profits, where I think the market should reject and pull back again after here. And that'll be basically, you know, that'll be setting up potentially a third wave that goes up and completes a harmonic. But we'll see how it goes. All right, guys, let me know if you have questions. Cheers.